Good morning. It's a late winter, early spring winter wonderland. As you can see, we have snow falling, big snowflakes falling. The weather folks say that it's gonna convert to rain, but I need to get out on the water. And as you can see, it could be quite a pretty morning. I've got a canoe ready to go. I've got my gear all in dry bags. Birds are calling, snow is falling. It's quiet other than my voice, and I'm ready to hit the water. Let's see what I can find out here today. It's such a pretty morning out here. It's so quiet. We even have a little skim of ice developing. But it's supposed to get warm and windy this afternoon, so things are gonna change. Based on my database of wildlife observations, there could be pelicans out here today, possibly some various mergansers and grebes. Don't know what we'll see, but take a look. It looks like I'm paddling through pudding. That's ice forming on the top here. Just makes it for some thick water. If you look quite far down in the distance, there are at least 2 pelicans down there. According to my records, they should have been here today, or by today. They may have been here earlier, but today's the first time I've seen them out here for this season. But we do have pelicans. I really like paddling in the non-traditional conditions. A day like this, I've got Sweet Marsh to myself. Just me and the critters. There's a dead Canada goose. Possibly avian influenza took that bird. But plenty of activity out here. And the nice thing about it is it's so nice and quiet. You just get out here and paddle and enjoy it. The only noises I want to hear are the sounds of my paddles, the waterfowl, and my camera clicking. And if I get closer to some things, maybe I'll hear more camera clicking, but so far so good. Just being out here today has been worth it. As you can see, conditions are pretty interesting for the second day of April. We got big flakes of snow that's supposed to be turning to rain. Hasn't happened yet, but it is supposed to warm up today. It's really quite pretty out here. It's quiet other than all the waterfowl. As expected, I did find pelicans. I was hoping to find maybe some different types of mergansers, or maybe even grebes that we see that pass through this time of year, but I didn't find any of them yet. Still looking around for them. I'm going to make my way up to the north end of Marten's Lake, see what we can find there, and we'll see the upper end of it anyway. I'm often asked, how do I get the pictures that I get? And the simple answer is I get out. So even though today isn't a blue sky day, and even though I'm getting wet while I paddle, I'm still out here looking around, still out here ready to shoot some pictures. If I had stayed home today because of the rain or the snow, I would have missed seeing the pelicans. So it was worth it. If you're going to be out in conditions like this, you just have to bundle up. So I've got several layers on. Underneath this rain suit, I've got several layers of clothes and a life jacket. So it makes you look like the Michelin Man. But that's what it takes to stay warm and stay dry. So other than my face, everything on me is covered. So I should stay dry. And all of my equipment is in dry bags other than when I pull it out to shoot photos. Then it goes right back into the dry bags. My Nikons have really good weather seals on them, so I'm not too concerned. You know, I'm cautious, but I'm not too concerned that I won't use them. It's really quite noisy today. I'd like to have an external mic on, but due to the wetness, I left that back at home. No sense in ruining a mic for today. The return of the swans is quite a comeback story. A number of years ago, I was invited to assist with releasing swans in Black Hawk County. And when we did that, we put bands on them, and we docked the wings on the adults so that they couldn't fly for that season. And then they reproduce there, and wherever the young take off from, that's where they imprint and start returning. And now we've got all these swans that are coming back to the area, and it's really quite interesting. It's pretty. We got 3 swans coming this way right now. We got 6 swans coming this way right now. I'm almost to the far upper end of Marten's Lake. Oftentimes we see interesting wildlife species there. Up here where we're headed, perhaps the most interesting animal I've seen here and photographed was a black bear swimming up here. I've also shot pictures of deer swimming here, and I don't know how many bird species. Had fox playing off to the right, but so far today it's pretty much just your typical waterfowl. I've heard sandhill cranes this morning, but I haven't seen any yet. But I'll keep looking. Sweet Marsh is really a great place to explore birds, especially this time of year. It just draws them in like a magnet. They're all over. It's so many different species. But it does take some effort. You got to get out. Paddling in weather like this isn't something everybody enjoys doing, but I don't mind. It almost feels like the snow is making that change to rain. If I have to choose between one or the other, I'd rather paddle in snow. But I don't have a choice. see something up ahead. I don't know if it's a pelican or a swan, or maybe it's just snow that somehow dropped in an unusual way. I'll go check that out. Then I might start working my way back to the truck. Nope, that's swans. Looks like I might have a family of swans up there. For those wondering, I'm paddling an Old Town Discovery Sportsman solo canoe or kayak hybrid. I don't know. It certainly appears to be more of a canoe to me. I haven't used a traditional kayak now for quite some time. I really like the openness of a solo canoe, a short solo canoe. I can do everything I can do in my kayak, and a couple of other things. I can get out, in and out easily, and I can get at my gear very quickly. And that to me is beneficial. Well, if you're paying close attention, you'll notice that it's not snowing and it's not raining. I'm pretty well soaked on the outside, but not on the inside. But what that means is I'm going to stay out a little bit longer. I'm going to work my way back along the outer shore towards the boat ramp and the dock. See if I can find something unusual on the outer edges. Since my paddle route when I first came out was on the inside cattails, it's possible that I missed seeing something. If nothing else, it just gives me a chance to do a little more paddling, and maybe I'll see sandhill cranes up on the dike. That often happens. I see some swans headed this way right now, so maybe I'll be changing my route. I don't know. Let's just see here where they come down at. Nope. They haven't come down yet. They're circling. I've seen a lot of swans this winter, but with the pelicans just here this week, the last few days, it might be interesting to go see them some more. We'll see. Under conditions like this, even Canada geese look good in the snow, even though we've got thousands of them here. Since it's only early April, we still have quite a few migratory species expected to come through and set up. Some of them set up shop here. Obviously, the waterfowl are the easiest to notice and enjoy, but soon the warblers and the kinglets and all of those smaller birds will start coming in too. And I like them, especially right in this area. They really seem to be attracted, and every year I see a lot of yellow warblers, common yellow throats, indigo buntings, a few other of those species. So I'm looking forward to that too, but it's a little bit early. One thing of interest about this section of Sweet Marsh is in just a little bit of time, the plug is going to be pulled on it, so to speak, and it's going to get dewatered or drained out. The DNR is going to do some substantial improvements. They're going to deepen these channels to in the range of 6 to 10 feet deep, They're gonna add a couple of other channels on the interior portion of Sweet Marsh. And instead of taking that material out, they're just going to do some shaping and contouring as long as it remains underneath the water line. Apparently there's some Corps of Engineer regulations on whether or not they can make islands or nesting islands or piles or whatever you want to call them. So they all the actions have to fit within those parameters. But that will start sometime in May is my understanding, the dewatering. And then the actual construction work I don't think will happen until September, and then it'll be done late winter or late fall through the winter, and then it's got to be completed by February or March is my understanding. I'd have to look that up. But this area, it's really quite shallow. It's silted in over the years. Yep, it's going to affect the fisheries for a while, but think what it'll be like after it recovers, because they're going to put some they're going to stock it again, and then hopefully move back some of the fish that they pull out of it this spring and summer. Yeah, you got to pay a little bit to have an improved area, but I think it's worth it. I think it's certainly time to do it. Yep, it's going to impact us and change things for a season or so, but that's okay. We need it to really make some improvements out here. I look forward to that, and I think it'll really benefit the habitat and all of the species that are out here, whether it's fish or birds or mammals. It'll be an improvement, but that's coming up soon. Well, I would have to say that my outing was pretty much worthwhile. It was productive. Saw quite a few different birds. Saw a beaver off in the distance. Heard more than I saw. But enjoyed a good paddling trip out here at Sweet Marsh, as I almost always do. On the days when it's really windy, then it's kind of a challenge, but otherwise it's pretty good. I'm about to paddle up to the boat dock. For those who have stayed with me through my virtual journey here, I hope you found it somewhat relaxing and you got to see a little glimpse of how I do what I do and why I do what I do. And I thank you for watching.